Good morning, guys. So today's video is about propagation. So as you can see, here is one of my cactus. What I'm going to do is pluck out each of the baby cactus from the mother plant. So once I pluck them out, I'm gonna put them in these cement pots that I made. So I have a few ready with soil. So I'm gonna put the babies inside the cemented pots. So that's similar to leaf propagation. So with let me find good lighting. Sorry guys, hold on. So with this guy, he used to be really tight and compact, so it was maybe this tall, but there's been a lot of movement going on around my house, so I've been moving my plants here and there to where it got to the point where I guess it wasn't getting enough light, and as you can see, it's stretched. So what I'm going to do with this plant is I'm gonna do some leaf propagation. That's basically plucking some leaves out and then leaving them on the soil, letting it root, and then crossing my fingers that they eventually have become its own succulent. And so I'm gonna do leaf propagation as well as beheading this, because as you can see, it's split off into two pieces, two succulents, and yeah, it has two heads now, as you can see. Okay, so first I'm gonna be plucking the cactus, and then we'll get back to this later on. Okay, for this one, you want to be careful. It's not so pokey to where if you touch it, it'll hurt. But of course, you're going to be applying some kind of pressure, and you don't want to hurt yourself. So maybe wear some gloves. But for now, I'm going to be gentle, at least with the first maybe two that I'll pluck, and then the rest I'm going to do it off camera and with a glove. So with the cactus, oops, see, that one just popped right out. I was gonna say just gently twist it back and forth until you feel that it's loose, and it'll eventually pop out like what you guys just saw. So let me just do one more. So all you want to do is just gently twist it back and forth, and it'll just pop out just like that. Okay, maybe I can do all on camera. Okay. Gotta be gentle. I need to see it from my perspective. But the sun is coming in, so it's kind of looking a little bit darker. So I might just stop it right here after this one pops. See? You also, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you want to make sure you get a clean cut. So that basically means there's when you pop it out, there's no like portion sticking out. So I guess I didn't see that earlier, but as you can see, there is something left from one of the things that I popped out. Let's see if I could adjust this. There you go. So here you could see that there's a hole versus this one. There's still something left there that may not propagate. Let me see if I could find here. Ooh, that's too bright. So this may or may not propagate. I'm gonna just try. It's a pretty decent size, so I'm gonna see if it'll propagate or not. Okay, so let me go back and I'm gonna turn off the camera and just finish pulling out the other ones. So I'll be back. Okay guys, so I am back. I already put some soil into the cement pot. So now what I am going to do is just dig a little hole and then grab one of the cactus. This one that I think it was the last one that I pulled out. It already had its roots, so I guess it wasn't connected to the mother plant. So it already has its own established roots, and yeah, unlike the other ones where I'm gonna have to wait for it to root and see where it'll go from there. Okay, so once you put it inside the hole that you just dug, actually need 2 hands for this, but I'll be fine, hopefully. So I didn't want to make too much of a mess, so I have a pot here with some soil just to fill in these ones that I'm potting. So I'm just gonna put some soil around each side and just slowly go from there. Just keep adding where I need to so that it'll stand on its own. And so that's gonna be, I'm gonna do that for all the other cactus that I propagated. Okay, so as you can see, it's still not standing on its own. So you want to add some more soil. And some more here. Then I'm gonna pat it down. I'm being as gentle as I can. I know some people just go all force and just pat this thing down like crazy, but I only have one hand that's free, so I can only do little at a time. Okay, so at this point, as you can see, there's still about a good maybe centimeter, not even, but there's still a good portion of where you can add soil, or if you would like, you could also add top dressing to help keep it steady. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it empty. I will probably eventually put top dressing, but for now I am not going to do so. So I'm gonna just leave it empty like this. So I'm gonna go pot the rest of the cuttings that I got, and then I'll come back and show you the final product. Okay, so these are what I came up with. I found this other guy in one of the nursery where it got knocked down, the nursery pot, and it got knocked down, so I just wanted to repot it in this guy, the cement pot. However, I did notice that, I don't know if it got eaten or I don't know what to make of this, but there's some parts missing of the cactus, so we'll see how this guy turned out. So altogether I have 2 really tall ones. They're actually a good size, so this guy just needs to fix itself. I believe he was hanging out of the pot going out this way. And I have 5 small little guys. So some of them I did bury in deeper because when I noticed this one was knocked over, it was because he wasn't really buried in the soil, so it would constantly keep falling over. So I buried the smaller guys a little bit deeper just to guarantee that they're not gonna fall over when the wind blows, or if the shelf that I'm gonna put it on shakes while the wind blows it. Okay, so this is the cactus from Where's my mother plant? Here is my mother plant. I left this guy here because I feel that if I bury it, it's gonna barely be peeping out, so I left him there because I want him to grow just a bit taller. And if you can see, there's actually more that's growing. So there's one, there's two, there's actually there's some more right here, and you could see because there's more polka dots to them all along this side and the bottom right here. So there's actually gonna be more growing on this cactus. Okay, so with this succulent, I am going to do two methods. I'm gonna do a leaf propagation, which is basically I pluck out the leaves that I want to propagate, place them on top of soil, just let it do its thing. It'll eventually shoot out some roots and a new plant. The second method I am gonna do is I'm gonna get sterilized or sanitized scissors. I think it's sterilized. So I'm just gonna get my regular school supply scissors, wipe it down with rubbing alcohol, let that thing dry. Then I'm gonna cut the succulent just right here. I'm gonna take out these leaves right here and include that with my leaf propagation. And once I do so, you could either wait for the stem to callus over after you cut it. You need to let the wombs dry before watering it, or you could also just right after you cut it, you could stick it in really dry soil and not water it for maybe about a week or so. So that's the two methods that I'm gonna do with this succulent with regards to propagating. So let's start with the first one. Like I said, these guys are gonna go. So when you pluck out the leaves, you just want to be gentle, wiggle it back and forth, similar to like the cactus we did earlier, and see, just like that, it'll pop off. I'm gonna do that to all of these here. You want to make sure you get a clean cut, and so sorry, hold on. So very similar to what I did to the cactus earlier, how to propagate, I guess like the leaves. I want to make sure it's a clean cut. You can hear it actually pop off. So let me just get this thing to focus. And here, actually there's someone riding their moped down the street, so I don't know if you'll hear this, and it's a bit windy, but we'll try. Actually, that didn't make a sound. There, it's like a little snap or crackling sound. So here's how it looks like without the leaves. It's just one long neck, I guess. So I have some leaves that actually fell on the ground. Let me just pick that up. Okay, so I'm going to try leaving some leaves on the stump, but I'm gonna propagate the bigger guys, the bigger leaves. So just wiggle it back and forth. And it's pretty easy for it to just pop up. I know my nails are dirty from earlier. And this is my boyfriend's little fish tank. And he has duckweeds on it, in it, whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna pluck up. This one just popped out easily. So I guess maybe some leaves I'll leave here since there is a lot of space on the bottom. I am gonna leave the succulent potted in here and just let it do its thing. Oh my gosh, what am I filming? Okay. Okay, I think those are the three. It's actually leaning. And check this out. There is actually a little, actually, hold on. I see two succulents growing. You can see that little greenery right there and right there also. So I guess we'll see how it'll turn out later when I do an update video. But I'm gonna leave these guys here. I may need to fix this guy. He's leaning like crazy. I think I see another, whoops. Yep, I will need to repot this guy. He's falling over. Hold on, I shall be back because I cannot keep plucking out the leaves if he's ready to just fall over, and he might just fall over. Okay, hold on, I'll be back. Okay, so I've plucked out a few more leaves. Still looks a bit crowded, so I'm gonna pull out a few more. I don't know if you heard that, but there was another snap. So I know originally I said that I was gonna keep some leaves on the bottom of this pot, but I just remembered I do want to water this today, so I am not going to leave any leaves here because after you propagate these leaves, you don't want to water them right away. You want to water maybe a week before you do the initial propagation, because the leaves will actually absorb whatever water, and then from there it'll just store it in its leaves, so it'll you don't need to water it basically. Sorry, I am trying to concentrate on plucking the leaves without breaking them, and as well as not knocking over the plant again. So I just added some soil to keep it stabilized. I don't want to bury it too much because I do see some little succulents already growing out of the stump. So basically, once I leave the bottom portion of this succulent in this pot, it'll shoot out some more babies, so it'll have more of this rosette looking flowers, succulent growing here on the stump. So that's why I am giving it some room to grow. I am gonna leave some leaves like I mentioned. I want to see, this is actually going to be my first time propagating it like this, but I do have some succulents at my house where they have multiple baby succulents shooting out from the stump. Okay, so let me do just two more. It's hard to do this while filming. Okay, whoops. Oh no. Okay, trying to get this guy out. There you go. And swing it back the other way. Okay, so I am gonna leave the succulent stump looking like this. Should I pluck one more? It's like, no, that should be enough. That's fine. Okay, so like I said, the beheading process. Actually, let me finish this leaf propagation. So I don't even know if this will be enough room for it all, but for now, I am going to just throw it all there. So some people like to make mandalas out of the leaf propagations. I am just gonna lay them here because I will eventually take them out and move it somewhere. I just need to find a bigger container to put them or to fit them all in. Okay, I might need another one, but for now this is what I am gonna do. And I'm gonna show you another method that I did, which I kind of didn't want to do, but it seems to be okay. I'm sorry, but I am just gonna sprinkle these smaller leaves onto the pot. Okay, let me just show you real quick what I did with the other one and basically what can come out of this leaf propagation. This isn't always 100% gonna work. It depends on the condition of the water condition and the light conditions. So this one I kind of just left it in a bright indirect area, so it's getting a lot of sun. As you can see, this one, these ones I literally got all the leaves and just threw it on this pot. This one you could see it got sunburnt. The tip is sunburnt. It has no roots, no plant growing on the tip. Actually looks a bit dry. Again, excuse me and my dirty nails. So as you can see, there's a plant already growing on this one and this one. There's roots. So I'm just actually not gonna touch these guys so much. Don't want to disturb it. This guy right here in the bottom corner already has like a small little baby growing on it along with some roots. Yeah, so I actually don't remember which succulents I grabbed this from. I was fixing an arrangement. They just kept popping off every time I would accidentally brush my hand through it, and just eventually collected them all, placed them in this pot, and I'm just letting it do its thing. So I'm gonna do the same with this guy. I do need to water this because I do see that the soil is super dry. I'm just gonna mist it with this spray bottle. Okay, so on to number 2. My second method, I am gonna switch hands so I can use my right hand to cut this, and I am gonna just cut it right here, just like that. And I actually should have grabbed a pot ready to stick this in. So this was what I was saying with the open wound. You can either let this callus over within a few days, maybe a week. After that, you could stick it in the soil and just let it grow, and eventually the roots will shoot out from the stem. Or like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get pot, just fill it with soil. Okay, I'll pack it down a little bit. And then I'm gonna dig a little hole and grab this succulent and then just place it in. Again, you want to make sure you pack the soil around it. I'm gonna make sure this is centered, and to keep it upright, you can either put rocks on it or just keep adding soil to make it firm. So this is my 2 ways to propagate video. Let me know which one works for best for you, and I will keep you posted on these two propagation methods. So I'll keep you updated on this, hopefully within the next maybe in 2 weeks, because I am going on vacation next week. I'll update you guys on when I come back to see if it's rooting or not, and then these ones to see if they start shooting out roots or even maybe plant babies. So next weekend, I'm actually gonna be flying out in 5 days. So this guy I can water. This one and this one I'll probably mist a little bit before we leave. It depends if I remember or not, depending on how hectic things get. So we'll see how these 3 plants, my propagation method works when I get back from vacation. And I'll try to keep you guys posted on this as well. And other things that I have propagated, I might pull out one of the smaller ones to see how well they're doing. And of course, each plant, they grow on their own pace. Some may grow roots faster than the others, so we'll see how one of the cactus look like. And wanted to show you guys, I'm sure you saw this a little bit earlier, but I did propagate my sticks on fire plant last week, and I do have some more cactus down here. This one, I think the taller or the bigger looking cactus, we did that last week as well. And the smaller ones, we kind of plucked them too early, so as you can see, they're taking a while to grow. So my suggestion from experience is you wait till they're good size to pluck them and then propagate them. Okay, so let me show you the sticks on fire now. Is what I potted my sticks on fire on. I'll try to see if I can do a comparison photo later on, either that or I'll pop a picture of how it used to look like. It was really bushy, and I didn't like how the sticks on fire were growing downwards, like it was trailing. So that's what I propagated, so that way I wanted it to look like it's growing upwards. And before I did propagate it, most of them were green because I kept them in a shaded area because I knew I wanted to propagate it. But this is about a week. Yes, it's been a week, so I put it out in the sun because I wanted it to turn orange, and this is how it looks like after 1 week of being under the sun. It's starting to turn orange, as you can see, and there's a lot of new growth on that top portion in the middle. Okay, so I'll keep you posted on how red this gets too. Bye.